Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of From the Heart. I'm your host, Chloe Trca, and this is a podcast where we talk all things health, wellness, business, lifestyle, mindset, anything I'm walking through in life. I like to turn around and use it as a lesson in my life to you guys, kind of like big sister advice. I'm so excited for this episode. This is the last episode of 2025. It's 2026, friends. Like, we are walking into a new year, and this is my favorite time of year. If you've been a long-time listener, I usually do a 2020, whatever the previous year was, reflection, and then the next episode is my goals for the new year. And I was just writing them down. I was going through my Pinterest board. I was making my prayer board, and I was like brainstorming for this episode, and I was like, wait a minute, like, do they really care about what my specific goals are? Probably not. They probably don't. But what they probably care about is how to actually achieve their goals, like how to actually make it happen. Because I don't mean to toot my own horn, y'all, but I looked back at my last year's Pinterest board for 2025, my prayer board, and I was like blown away at how much my life from this last year replicated that. I'm like, every photo, I was like, I had a moment like that. I had a moment like that. I had a moment like that. And I was like, whoa. Like, this is real. This is how we do it. And I want you guys to know. So instead of giving and sharing my goals this year, I'm going to give you guys like a step-by-step how to essentially create your vision into a reality, how to turn your prayers into reality, essentially how to turn your Pinterest board into your reality. And I can't wait, because I was looking through it and I felt like an immense amount of gratitude. And I think that's actually one of the first things you need to do is feel gratitude for where you are and how far you've already come. Because I think a lot of times we'll open up Pinterest, we'll start scrolling, we'll open up TikTok and see all these people's lives that we aspire to be like, and it feels so far away. But it's funny because if we reflect on our own lives, there's so much good in it and so much blessing behind it. Like, we're living in so many answered prayers in the moment, in the real time. And I was scrolling through Pinterest and I was like, wow, a lot of my life already replicates this, because I put action behind what I want. I make my dreams a reality. Like, I just put action behind it. And I don't know, I'm like, God has blessed me in so many ways. And I just felt so much gratitude. I'm like, I need to share this. I'm not going to share my goals. I'm going to share how I do it in hopes that I can maybe help you and maybe help you feel more optimistic going to this new year, because so much can happen in a year, you guys. Like, I always say every week, this podcast is based on what I learned in 1 week, 7 days. There's 52 weeks in a year. That's 52 new opportunities, 365 new opportunities every single day to create the life that you've always wanted and dreamt of and prayed for. We're going to get into it. Honestly, the first thing I'm going to give you guys like a little breakdown of what I kind of do when I brainstorm my goals. And then we'll get into like actually how I turn my goals into my reality. So essentially at the end of the year, like you guys know, I do a reflection like I did last week on the last week's episode, and I go through my goals. I'm like, what did I achieve? What did I not achieve? And I kind of briefed you guys. There was like a handful of things that I actually didn't accomplish this year, but I was grateful for it. I still had like a sense of gratitude and understanding, and I reflected and I'm like, why didn't that happen? So if you do have like a 2025 goals list, or you have a Pinterest board, like a vision board or prayer board, go through it, reflect on it, really like take a look and be like, okay, did this happen? Yes or no? And why? And you'll really get a good understanding of like what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Are you a go-getter? Are you kind of a delayed? Are you a procrastinator? Do you have like imposter syndrome? What is it? Kind of get to the commonalities of why things didn't maybe happen. Very eye-opening. It's very eye-opening. But that's data that you can use going forward for 2026. And you can understand maybe what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. And it's okay if you don't accomplish all your goals. Like, we still have tomorrow. Like, tomorrow's not always promised, right? But like, we have the new year. We have a fresh opportunity to still make it happen. I don't think every goal has to be within a time frame of like 365 days. Like, that's crazy. But I think it's a good tool to utilize to kind of check in. I think it's a good little benchmark to just be like, am I making progress? Am I not? Because like I said, nothing's going to happen exactly in a year, but a lot can happen in a year. So be bold and be expectant on the Lord. And I really encourage you guys. So what I first do is I open up Pinterest. I simply open up Pinterest. You all probably have Pinterest. This is so easy. I make a new board and I scroll. And I scroll for like an hour. I like to go on a walk actually to get my brain flowing, get the blood flowing. And I just have my best thoughts when I'm like moving, when I'm physically moving. And so I got my walking pad out and I was walking, I was scrolling for like 30 minutes to an hour. I just did this like an hour or so ago. And I pin everything that I like, everything that catches my interest, everything that looks desirable. I'm like, yeah, I want that. Yeah, that looks great. That would be enjoyable. Oh, I attain to be like that. Oh, and it'll be food. It'll be like displays of like healthy food on a table or a fridge, or it'll be like a grocery shop cart. It'll be someone cooking in the kitchen. It'll just be the vibes that I like, you know? It'll be cute little couple artsy photos. And it's so funny because I'll literally pin a photo, not really knowing why, just being like, that's cute and aesthetic. And I'm into that. Like, I like that, you know? It's kind of like when you double tap a post on Instagram, whatever kind of catches your interest. But when I look back, like for instance, I was looking back on last year's and I have a lot of these similar posts, and like they'll be like the background of the photo is so similar to the background of a photo Kyler and I have taken. And I'm like, what? Like, so crazy how it mimics. And I'm like, I didn't even try. It wasn't like I went on a trip and pulled up my vision board for 2025. It was like, I'm going to replicate this photo. I just lived my life. I just went out and did the things. I didn't even really open this board up very often throughout the year, like maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm looking back though, and I'm like, I lived these out. So all the vibes, all the cute photos, even like gym aesthetic photos, like there were some Pilates photos, there were some like running photos, there were some strength training photos, quotes that I kind of want to focus on. There's like business things, just all of the things that look attractive to you, you're into. Pin it. Like I have a big board, like bigger the better, because then once I have it all pinned, I then kind of go through it and I find like the commonalities. Like I kind of put it into categories, right? And so it's like, okay, a lot of photos are looking like fresh, wholesome, farmer's market type food. Okay, I need to eat more whole food based. I want to eat more natural. And then it's like, oh, I want to be more in my Bible with Kyler because there's a bunch of couples Bible studies. Oh, I want to be more serving in like the community. There'll be photos of me, like not of me, but like people like handing out meals or serving others or whatever it is, and put them into categories, okay? And then once you have like your lump sum of like 4 to 6 categories, pick apart those photos and be like, what in this photo do I desire? Is it like, just really get specific on what it is, okay? And then from there, you need to literally write out like, okay, I want this, I like this. What do I need to do to get from where I am now, point A, to get to where that photo is point B? And you literally just make like a plan. Make a plan literally for that photo. It might sound silly, but it's like, okay, well, if I want to have fresh food, I need to start going to the farmer's market once a week, getting my fresh produce there, stocking my fridge, and making that a focus, eating whole food based. And so once you have like your main photos that you really want to embody and replicate, and you have like a plan of how to get from A to B, then make a goal within that so you actually achieve it. So it's like, okay, it's like a SMART goal. Like they teach you in school. You guys have probably learned this. SMART goal stands for like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So make a goal based on that literal photo or that literal subcategory. And then you are literally looking at your goals right there, and you have a plan already set for each of them. And so you just have to follow suit. And the thing is, I don't want you to like stress over this so much, because you don't need to be like opening up your Pinterest board every single day. You can if you want. I'm not that obsessive. I open it literally, like I said, 2 to 3 times a year. I don't even look at my goals all that often. I just do it to check in every now and then and see how I'm doing. The thoughts flowing, to get direction in your life, to know where you want to go. I mean, looking at it every single day is not a bad idea. Like when I first met Kyler, he literally had photos like taped onto his mirror of certain things that he desired. And if you see it every day, that's great. It just depends how you operate, know how you operate. I know how I operate. And I'll set it as my like a screensaver on my laptop. Like I'll make a collage of a bunch of the photos, so I kind of subconsciously see it every day, but I'm not like sitting there studying it, right? That's what I do. That's what I encourage you to do. Go make a Pinterest board, scroll through it, subcategorize it, make a plan for each of the main photos you desire, and then write your goals based upon those plans. Like pick apart the goal and be like, hey, what do I need to technically do to get here? And write a goal. So now we're gonna go through the framework that I have for you guys that's more specific on how to actually achieve your goals this year. Because I gave you like the plan of how to prep, but now I'm gonna kind of break down like how to actually get there. I wouldn't go overboard with the goals. Like don't make 500 goals, because that's like overwhelming. I would pick maybe like 10. And I would again like break it into subcategories. So it's like 2 or 3 goals per category. I always do professional, personal, relational, like something I want to learn or like a new hobby kind of area, like a miscellaneous area. And I pick like 2 or 3 in each. So it's not like overwhelming. I know what my focuses are in each category. It makes it so much more clear and so much less overwhelming in your brain. And then from there, I would do like one main goal. So like one main professional goal or maybe 2, like I said, and then have like supporting goals. So it's like, okay, my goal is to maybe make this much money. I don't know if that's a good goal. I don't usually do income, like monetary goals, but if that's one of your goals, say it's like, I want to make $100,000 this year. That's just a random number. Okay. So that's like your main goal. I want to make $100,000 by 2027. And then you would do 2 supporting goals. So that would be maybe like by March, I need to start a new stream of income on the side. And then supporting that, it would be like, I need to start putting 2 hours away daily to work on this side hustle and build this business. Maybe it's studying, maybe it's researching, maybe it's actually building this thing out, maybe it's networking. Put 2 hours a day aside or 2 hours a week aside to building that, right? And so it's like you have little goals that kind of build into the big goal, because if you just have one big goal and you don't have a lot of direction, it's really overwhelming. So make sure you kind of break it down. Again, this is like a time commitment to do all this. I understand it's like, Chloe, but if you spend like a night, spend like New Year's Eve night or like New Year's Day night, or maybe a few hours in the morning on New Year's Day, and just go to a cute coffee shop and just do it. Like, I promise you, investing in the time to do this and execute an actual plan will be so worth it at the end of the year. You're going to be so happy. You're going to be like, I'm so glad I did that. And you will do it every year from now on. Write down all your goals and then just make a priority. Like, pick one. Like, if you have like multiple, if you're like, Chloe, I can't get it down to like 2 per category, then write down all of them and circle like the number 2, like the most important. Because once you have everything, you'll be able to kind of prioritize like what's the most important and then focus on those. And if you accomplish those, then obviously you can like focus on the other ones more. But I just don't want you to get too overwhelmed. I don't want you to sell yourself short by any means, but I just know how it can be when it's like you're so ambitious, then you become paralyzed because it's like, where do I start? So just really get like 2 main focuses and then kind of make sub goals to help you achieve that main priority. And then once you do that, you need to kind of just have a vision for like what you want your life to look like. Because I think visioning and seeing it and having faith that it will happen is really, really important. Like believing that like God will bless you and that can be your reality. I do this a lot, even with like races and competitions. Like I think it was when I was like a young athlete, like in cheer, before we compete, they would make us lay down on the ground as a team, close our eyes. They play those like song, like our music for cheer, like our 2.5-minute routine. And we'd have to literally envision ourselves competing and doing it so we could like wire our brain to believe it's going to happen. So if like you want to become a social media creator, I feel like that's a lot of people's goals all the time. And that's a great goal. I love my job. I highly encourage all of you guys to do it. It's like, envision yourself making a video. Envision what your day would look like. Envision what it would look like to edit, what kind of videos you'd edit, how you'd edit. Like, get into the nitty-gritty details of like walking your life and yourself through it so you could just get a glimpse of it and you can just see it. So I don't know. You can like have your dreams all the time. I think people, it might sound silly, but even like what's something I can think of? Like a race, like when I run marathons, literally, or half marathons, I like envision what it looks like finishing the, like crossing the finish line. I envision like hugging who I'm going to hug. I envision like even making a post for you guys and talking about it. It's like, I get excited for the outcome so much that I'm believing that it's literally going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And then it does happen. And it's so crazy. Okay. So make sure you're visionary. Really like pray on the photos, pray on the vision, and visualize yourself doing it. Okay. And just like ask yourself, me at the end of the year, like how do I want to be different, right? Like visualize the specifics on like, how will I think different? How will I act different? What habits did I keep? What habits did I let go of? Like, what will I no longer tolerate? Like, think about all the good and the bad and let the bad things, like your bad habits or those things you just can't kick, literally visualize yourself like not even doing that, not even being a problem anymore. Like, make it where your subconscious already believes that it's true, because then it will literally happen. Okay. And then the next step is break down every goal into a system. Kind of like I said, to have like that pre-plan, like I was saying earlier when I was saying have a Pinterest board and then have a plan for that photo. I want you to break down your goals into systems. So this is where you're really going to get like specific and like write it out. Like paragraph it almost, and make a plan for like how to get there and write out the plan. Not even like your SMART goal, and you're gonna have like a goal written out, but then it's like make an action plan and make it realistic. Like make it specific, make it realistic. Ask yourself like, what is this going to require of me on a weekly basis? What is this going to require me on a daily basis? What am I going to have to pour into this? Is that realistic, right? And it's like, okay, if it's not, maybe let's change the goal a little bit to adapt better to our lifestyle to still get us there, but to like not paralyze us in a point where it's like, that's just unattainable. Like I don't have 10 extra hours to pour into studying for something different, right? So it's like, what do I have to give? And then make that fit, right? Make the plan and then ask yourself like, what's it going to entail? And just really like start to kind of anticipate it and start to kind of expect it and plan for it. Because then you need to start scheduling it, right? So starting off, whenever you're listening to this, like, I don't think you need to wait till January 1st. Like, start whenever you can, but start implementing those plans and start doing those things. So it's like, I want to make more friends. All right, well, my plan would be to maybe make a post on Instagram to reach out to people, being like, hey, like, I want to meet up with people in the area. And then your goal is like to pick one person every week and meet up for coffee. Make that first plan, make that first date. Essentially, right? Scheduled out, like create a schedule for it. Get a big planner. I love planners. You guys know I started doing that on a monthly basis, but I love like a big planner. I'm going to get one this year and like literally jot it down and just plan out your whole year even. Pick 52 people and write 52 people down that you want to meet in the new year. I don't know. And then the next thing I want you guys to do, and this is good because if failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So what you need to do is prepare for resistance. Prepare for something to not necessarily go your way. Maybe it's a day where you're feeling unmotivated. It's a week where you're in your luteal phase and you're not excited and you don't want to do it. Make a plan for how you're going to get through those moments. Have like a backup plan, right? Be prepared for that. Maybe write your why. I need you to write your why. That's what I have like my clients do that I coach. It's like, I need you to write your why in your notes on your phone as to why we're sitting here right now. Like, what are the feelings you're feeling? Why are you wanting this so bad? Why is the change so needed? So when you're feeling unmotivated, you can open up this app, this notes app, read this, put yourself back into that position of that desperation of I want this so bad. And that is going to give you an instant spark of something to kind of get you fired up. Okay. And the beautiful thing is, I know it's probably like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so much. I have to schedule everything out. I have to do all these things every single day and every single week. And I'm going to be so like stressed and overwhelmed and burnt out. But I promise if you implement these into your daily or weekly routine and you make a routine out of it, you don't get burnt out. It's just like muscle memory. It's like me with my morning routine. There's so many things I do every morning on a daily basis that the first week is a little difficult. You know, you're adjusting. It's like, whoa, I gotta do this again. But then by week 2, I'm not even kidding. It doesn't even take 30 days. It literally takes less than like 2 weeks. And it's muscle memory and you just do it and it's just your norm. It's just your new. Like, remember when you were in school and you have all your new classes and you're trying to figure out like, what's the routine? What's it like? What class do I go to? What's my route to class? Like, how do I plan the things around my days? If you're in college, like when am I going to work out on like Tuesdays and Thursdays versus Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes? It's overwhelming the first week or two and then you kind of get adjusted into it and then it's your norm. So it's like endure through the first couple weeks and you will be so much better off. But prepare for those weeks that you don't want to do it and have a plan for why. And then, like I said, have a deep why. But I really encourage you guys to incorporate like your purpose, incorporate your faith, incorporate something greater than you into the why. Because oftentimes, like I've said before, our own desires like aren't enough to get us to do something we don't want to do, but we'll often do it for somebody else. We're much more likely to serve somebody else. Maybe it's your boyfriend, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's your sibling, maybe it's your best friend. Like you need to show up better for them. Or maybe you have a kid, maybe it's your own child. And maybe it's just the Lord. I mean, like, Lord, I want to walk in your will the best that I can. And I need to show up and I need to treat my body as a temple and I need to honor you and I need to be obedient to the lifestyle that you call me to and I need to stay committed. Like, that's my why. Like, it's me and the Lord most of the time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the things I know I need to do to get to where I know you have me going, right? It'll work, okay? And then I do encourage you to reflect on this. Like I said, don't need to do it all the time. Maybe once a quarter, 3 times a year, 4 times a year, maybe. Like, open up your vision board, open up your notes app, see like what's working, what's not working, and make adjustments, because the key to success is pivoting. Okay. We're going to fail all the time, but it's not a failure unless we quit. Right. So instead of failing, right, we pivot. So make adjustments. Okay. Well, I've been doing this for 2 months and nothing's changed. Nothing's happened. Maybe I should double it. Maybe I should, maybe I should cut back a little bit. Maybe I should start researching in like somewhere new. I don't know what your goals are, right? But just pivot and just adjust. It's really simple. If it's not working, it can work. There is a way to make it work because someone's accomplished it, so somebody's figured it out. Like, genuinely nothing's impossible. It's just a matter of like how long it takes to figure out your path and like your route to it. I know that, I don't know if all that made sense, and I hope it did, but like it really is just important to get inspiration, find what you're desiring, and then make a plan for it. Because if you're like, I don't even know what my goals are, you got to get inspiration and you got to like have a desire. And then from there, you can create goals based upon it. And then you already have the plan written. It's so simple. Like, it really is so simple. And I think the most important piece, though, is to pray over it and to bring prayer into it. Like, last year was the first year I made a prayer board rather than like a vision board. And last year was the first year that it replicated it more than ever. Like, the last 3 years really have done a lot of replicating, like when I opened my Pinterest board, but like the last year was like the closest it's ever been. And I fully, wholeheartedly believe it's because I prayed about it and I brought the Lord into it and I was expectant and I was just praying over it. Like at the beginning of the year, I'm like, God, this is on my heart. These are my desires. Like, if it's in your will, like, make it happen, please, and like, I'll be obedient. I'll like listen to you and I'll follow you and I trust you. And I'm just so excited if you implement these, guys, to see where you are going into 2027, because this could really be your year. And it's just a matter of effort and consistency. It really is. Like, if you try your hardest and you're consistent, consistency compounds. You break it down to habits. That's really what it is. It's like your daily habits is where you're going to get. And so you have a goal and you make a plan and you put you utilize that plan to create habits. And once you compound those habits, next thing you know, you're there. So simple when you break it down. But I've talked so much today. This is actually the second podcast I've recorded today because I'm traveling for the holidays for Christmas. And so my voice is like very scratchy. And I'm like, how do people talk for a living all the day? Like all the day? I'm losing my mind. All day, every day. I'm like, my voice literally hurts right now. I feel raspy, but I just want to thank you guys for listening. I want to thank you guys for the support that you've given me all year and all the years that we've been here together on this podcast, and just all the different, journeys I've been on in my life. It's crazy. I feel like I've been through everything with you guys, and it's just so cool to have an outlet to speak to, and it's cool to be able to, I hope, help others and connect with you guys. And I try to be as real and raw and authentic as I can be, because I don't have a little sister to tell these things to. So I'm like, might as well tell you. I'm just really expectant for 2026 myself. And I know that if God can work in my life, he can also work in yours. And so I'll be praying for y'all. I encourage you to pray over your year and just get specific, get real, get bold, get courageous. Like, get the crazier, the better. If there's like something on Pinterest and you're like, that, like a private jet yacht, which materialistic things really aren't my jam, like that, like those aren't really my goals. But if that's your goal and it seems like, when am I ever gonna get on a PJ, put it on there. You never know. Maybe one time randomly you'll meet somebody and then you get an opportunity to go somewhere and you'll be on a private jet and you'll be like, whoa, that was pretty cool. I don't know. That was kind of stupid, but I'm just saying, like, be really bold and crazy with the vision board, because you will surprise yourself. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now. Have a good rest of your day whenever you're listening to this. I love you so much, and we will chat next year. The next time I talk to you will be 2026. That's crazy. Merry Christmas. I love you.